Hello, this is Dr. Young, and I'm going to go over your week 6 assignments. Pardon the noise in the background. I believe it's a noisy dishwasher, so sorry. Gotta wash the dishes though, so I don't think it's going to be that loud. Okay, I'm going to go over week 6. Let me get there. Sorry about that. And I just finished grading your week. Let me just talk about week 4 real quick. I just graded your week 4 work. It was really no one even got a B, I don't think. No, I think it was pretty much everybody, covered the content needed. Everything was nitpicky mistakes, which I know I say nitpicky, but, things like, here's just a few tips. Just make sure that your fonts are always the same. I saw and I don't know if you're cutting and pasting quotes, but most people, I could see some quoted material, which is fine. It's not a problem. Some of it, as long as there's not too many quotes, but when you go back and proofread your work, make sure your fonts match, even with your reference list, because it should all match. The other thing was not having a publication date in the APA format. You need to make sure to have that. These were all very minor mistakes, typos. Just proofread more carefully. Really seeing the class grow. I know we're at week 6. I can't believe we're at week 6, but we're at week 6, and the first paper, comparing the first paper to this paper that I just graded, and that's week 4. I'm definitely seeing improvement. So I don't really think that you're gonna. I'm sitting here twiddling around this website here. I'm not really concerned about this class. Anyway, so I'm going to go to week 6. Week 6 is different. No discussion. No discussion at all. This is 2 Dropbox assignments, 2 papers. A paper for week 6 and a paper for week 7. And basically what it is it asks you to read your chapters 6 and 7 right here, and single out 2 objectives from chapter 6. Identify and discuss 2 salient points related to each objective, then submit the paper. Same thing for chapter 7. What does that mean? When you go to your chapter, look at your objectives at the beginning of the chapter. Pick 2, and then talk about some points that are related to those objectives. I don't care if you're talking about if you wanted to further define them, you want to talk about an example related to that objective. Okay, let me just kind of think this through. And actually, I'm not going to use the ones from your text because that's ones that you need to choose from. And I don't want to give an answer necessarily, but I might give something anyway because I'm going to use these. So let's just say one of these here is from your chapter, which it might, actually I don't have the book in front of me, but I think it's pretty close. Describe different types of training programs, okay? That's an objective. The objective of this chapter, this lesson, is to learn how to describe different types of training programs. Okay, let's say you pick that one. Okay, so what would you write about it? Well, what are some of the types of training programs? What are some of the problems with certain training programs? What makes one training program more successful than another? And what kind of environment? You've really got a world of options to think about here. All I'm asking you to do is just read chapter 6, look at your objectives in the beginning, pick 2 of them, and write a paper about it. 2 of those objectives, and it's 2 and 2. 2 references, 2 pages. for each chapter. That's why there's 2 papers and no discussion, because you need to do it for chapter 6, and you need to do it for chapter 7. And the same thing, rules apply that they have always applied for papers in this class. So, really at this point, you're probably, you understand what format I need. What you need to focus on is what to write about. I think this is, I don't want to say easy, but there's a lot of things you could write about. I just want you to expand on that. Feel free to use current events. Feel free to use, if you have an experience in your own career that relates to it, please, by all means, use that. I like to hear about what's going on out there in the real world as it applies to some of the things that you learn in the class. So if you have that, that's fine. You still have to use references, though. So some of that's going to need to be supported by some research. Okay, so that's really all you got this week. I say it like, oh, that's all you got, but that's really all you need to do. If you don't understand, you get confused, let me know. I'll be happy to explain further. It's due Sunday. Again, I don't know if these videos are, I think they are helpful to some students as far as picking out some of the if I give you very fine points, like the details, about writing your paper, the format, I think most of you have APA style pretty much figured out, except for maybe a few things here and there. I'm going to give you a few tips right now before I end the video. I gave you some at the beginning of the video, but if you're going to a site and you don't have a date, make sure to put N period, D period, instead of a number, a year, a date, as a placeholder. That's basically what you do. If you don't have that, if you don't have an author, you use the title first, and then the date, and then the, website or whatever source you're using. And really, to end this video, I'm just going to go over here to the OWL site. Please use this site. It's really great. I love this site. I can't say enough good things about it, because it got me through so much in graduate school. Don't be shy about using this. It tells you everything you need to know. It has, like, let me just go over here to electronic sources. It has, look at this. It has a template where you can just plug in the information, or an example to follow, to model. If that's not good enough for you, go to this APA sample paper and pull it up and download it. It's basically here, here's the format. Just make it look like this, it's a great site. I love this site. So anyway, I think it's very useful for APA style. I don't know how, when you think about how does your papers need to look. One thing I do notice about students' reference lists is they don't double space them. When you double space, that doesn't mean just in between the sources. It means in between every line. And if this thing will load, I will show you. Please, come on. There we go. Nope, that's an appendix. There we go. See? This is a hanging indent. This is centered. And its reference is not works cited. We do not use works cited in APA. And then it's a hanging indent, which means that the second and subsequent lines of the source are indented, but not the first one. That's what a hanging indent means. Also, see, it's a space in between every line, not just the source. It's not like this is all together and then a double space and then this is all together. There's a space between each line. So just wanted to go over that real quick. It's all practice, really, in APA. And I'm just trying to help perfect you, help you perfect it. So if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. I'll be happy to help. And again, if you have any problems in the class, please, anything unclear, don't hesitate to ask me. Don't be shy. And I hope you have a great week. I'm going to be posting in the discussion threads this week, and I look forward to seeing the conversation. Oh, no, I won't either because we don't have any discussion. Never mind. I will do that next week. Even I forgot. Usually there's a discussion in every class, every week in every class, so it's kind of strange not to have one. Anyway, anyway, paper, you can always, in the last word on the papers, if you want to send me a rough draft before it's due, email it to me as an attachment. I'll be glad to look it over and say, I'm not going to grade it at that point, but I'll say, you know what, I see a big hole here. I need you to work on this area, or you're missing information in this area. I think I would expand more. I'll give you some hints. But otherwise, I just make sure it's turned in by next Sunday at 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. All right, have a great evening, and I look forward to hearing from you in the class.